Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit Down. As you can see, the theatery is behind me, which means we're at Palisades Center in West Nyack, New York, which means I've just been at the AMC at Palisades Center, which means I've just seen a movie, and I've just seen a movie slightly early. Technically, I guess Friday is the day it comes out, so 2 days early, but we all know that there's a preview night in there, so people are going to be able to go see this tomorrow night, and I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for a creepy movie, a horror movie, a scary movie, make you go bump in the night, jump out your bed movie, maybe this is the movie to go check out this weekend. What am I talking about? Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat. We are getting ready to dive in spoiler free and fresh out the theater into The Boogeyman. And I gotta tell you, I had high hopes for this movie. When I saw the trailers, I was like, yo, I'm here. You add in that it's an adaptation of a Stephen King short story, and I have like a bunch of collections of his. I don't remember reading this one, but I definitely want to go find it now. And I would say if you haven't read the short story, I would read it probably after seeing this, because man, does this movie slap. But yeah, like you just put those pieces together in and of itself. Like what I saw, the fact that it's a Stephen King adaptation, like I was already real pumped. And then people that I trust that are horror fans in the YouTube and social media worlds started saying like really positive things about this movie, and I was like, am I setting a bar that's too high? And I gotta tell you, I don't think I did set a bar that was too high. I was absolutely blown away with this movie. You gotta give a ton of credit to director Rob Savage and to writer Scott Beck. What Beck comes up with, like the way that he plays with the Boogeyman, I gotta tell you, it's true to form. He doesn't reinvent the wheel, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this movie, both from the writing and from the direction standpoint. There are moments, there are things in this movie that you can see coming a mile away, so to speak, or, you know, play into typical cliches. But when you're messing with the Boogeyman, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. And both Beck and Savage play right into all the classic horror tropes with the Boogeyman, but do it in a way that, like, you haven't quite seen before. A lot of the fear, I mean, this movie is legit scary, and a lot of the fear for me comes from the creature design. The character design for the Boogeyman is unbelievable. Like, shout out to the props team and the special effects team and the VFX team. Like, this thing is terrifying. And similar to Smile, I think this movie is better than Smile, first off. But similar to Smile, it's one of these movies that builds on tension and suspense and fear of this entity. And you know, in this case, you're seeing the entity a lot in the shadows and whatnot, and you're building, and I was literally like in the third act, like going, this movie is really hitting, but like you got to deliver the goods on the end. And the third act payoff when it comes to the Boogeyman, it was so good. It was so good. It was everything that I was hoping that it was gonna be, and I absolutely adored it. That being said, not only do like the creature design get shout outs, but like the sound design, both for the movie and for the creature, like the Boogeyman sound design, it sounds like normal shit, like creaks and bumps that you hear in your house normally, and playing with stuff like that. Like, I'm gonna sleep with the light on tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, this one got to me. And the other thing that I love, and I didn't realize watching the trailers, but this is a family that is dealing with the loss of its mother. The mom of this family, you don't ever see any of this, mild spoilers, but she dies in a car accident, and that's something that the family is dealing with. And as you guys know, ironically, I just talked about this with my mental health chat yesterday, and of course, on the last day of Mental Health Month, I'd hit a movie that was going to hit me in the feels and deal with death, which is something that I've been dealing with for a year and a half. And I got to say, Savage, M. Beck, and all the actors here, when it comes to the sincerity of those feelings and the performance of having to juggle dealing with that type of heavy thing on top of all the stuff that's going on, it was so true to form, and it just hit in a way where, as someone who's going through that stuff, I mean, I cried like 3-4 times in this movie, man. So like, to balance the horror and the emotions of this movie. I don't know if the emotions will hit as hard for everybody, but I'm telling you, if you've gone through what this family is going through in any way, there are elements of this storytelling and the acting that are just gonna hit you. And to juggle the emotion and the horror, and to go like from crying to no, and I'll tell you right now, I lived like here, knees up, just shaking. And this movie starts with a bang, man. It lets you know what it is gonna be. It's not messing around, and then it gets going. And I think what Beck and director Rob Savage do here are just phenomenal. And Savage has some nice camera tricks. There's one specifically with stuff under the bed, and that light ball that we see in the trailers works so well. Now everything around and in the movie is also set design. The set design is phenomenal. Like when you're talking about the creepy elements of the Boogeyman and how it impacts like where you are physically, there's some really cool stuff. And just the way that they tee up things that could be Boogeyman related or not, all of it is just so freaking excellent. And then when you get to like the cast, I can't believe I'm getting to the cast last. This cast is so good. I'm only talking about like our main, and I'm gonna give you one shout out because I'm gonna keep this one short. But first and foremost, Sophie Thatcher, who plays Sadie, the eldest daughter here. Unbelievable, tremendous lead. She is so good. And like I said, balancing that emotion and that fear and putting all that on her face the way that she does, absolutely tremendous to watch. She far and away is the best thing in the movie and absolutely carries it front to back. I love her interactions with her dad, Chris Messina. I'm a big Chris Messina guy. He's been popping up all over the place. He's fantastic here. And there's one of these things where, especially from like an older daughter and a dad standpoint, like the things that the dad's going through, sometimes that's hard to talk about, especially when it's your wife. And it's hard. And Sophie Thatcher, Sadie, is at a place where she wants to try to connect. That she's seeing the distance happen, and Messina's dad is not ready, so the way that they juggle that relationship the whole time is done so well. And the way Thatcher just handles that stuff, and then throw in her relationship with her sister Sawyer, played by Vivian Lyra Blair, I just loved every minute of it. And like anytime that Vivian Lyra Blair was left alone, I was freaking out, man. That little girl, I loved her in Obi-Wan. She was a phenomenal young Leia. She is a phenomenal supporting character, specifically for Sadie in this movie. What she's able to do just with her face to just convey simple child moment, like you see someone with that kind of acting caliber, and then they remind you like, oh yeah, that's right, as a little kid, the fear in her eyes, and then one of the things I didn't talk about, but Savage, he uses lighting so cool, specifically around Blair. Red, green, solid colors, darkness, and how all that plays into that character in particular with some of the therapy things that they're going through. You just get some unbelievable set pieces, and Blair is phenomenal. And like I said, Chris Messina, that dude, I'm just such a big fan of his, and he's almost like an understated element of the movie, right? Like you don't get any real big, crazy moments with him, but everything he's doing is so nuanced and, like I said, so true to form when you're going through that kind of grief. And he's a psychologist on top of it, like a therapist, so like how he handles everything I just thought was phenomenal. The rest of the cast around them I thought was excellent, and the one person that I will give a shout out to is my man David Dastmalchian. I love me some Dastmalchian, and he is like the opening sequence is tied to his character. It's his family. We've seen that in the trailers, and you see it when he's talking to Messina, and what he brings, man, like from like he can do so much with so little. It's wild. I love Dastmalchian, and I love this movie top to bottom. I am like, the whole time I've been talking, the whole time I was walking, I had to like compose myself by coming outside because I was like teary-eyed and scared, and the adrenaline was high, and like I'm trying not to give this thing a 5 because I feel like that's too strong of a thing, especially if I haven't done it yet. I don't think for anything this year. So let's get the Sea Maniacs up. Like I said, I think what Rob Savage does as a director is unbelievable. The visuals in this movie are just, there's so many striking stills, and how he plays with lighting. The character design for the Boogeyman is unbelievable. The set design is phenomenal. All of it works so well and scares the living pants off of you. Like I was, like I said, up here, like shaking most of the movie, and it's a slow tension build that delivers in the third act, where it's like, you're building to something, you better come through. And I'll tell you, when you see what happens at the end of this movie, you gotta be like, that's nightmare fuel, and that was what I wanted. And then when you throw in, you know, balancing both the horror and some of the emotional elements of this movie that Scott Beck brings from a screenplay standpoint, I just thought him and Savage both did a phenomenal job. And then when you talk about the acting, Chris Messina, Vivian Lyra Blair, and Sophie Thatcher, who leads this thing big time. I mean, just unbelievable. I'm going 4.5 out of 5. This thing, it's I don't like, oh man, like I don't have anything to say bad about it, but it's just like, it is one of those things where I guess you could see people being like, oh man, that was kind of cliche, but I think they play with cliche things the way you should. Like, they do things the way you should, but do them in ways that are so effective you feel it. So for me, yeah, this is a damn near perfect movie. I'm going 4.5 out of 5 Sea-Maniacs on The Boogeyman. Go see it this weekend if you're a horror fan. If you need a horror movie, this thing freaking slapped. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to flip it over to you. What are you guys thinking? Are you going to check out The Boogeyman? How big of a Stephen King fan are you? How much do you love Chris Messina? Or maybe you're a big Vivian Lyra Blair fan. Or maybe you love some Sophie Thatcher. You're going to get great stuff from all of them. So what is it that you're looking forward to as a horror fan? Do you think that the hype for this movie is a little too high? It was one of the things I was worried about coming in, was like, I was hearing so many good things. And now I'm hyping it up. Like, is the hype too high? Can it reach what it's trying to do? Anything you got, man, good, bad, indifferent, on The Boogeyman. Keep it spoiler free. Put it down below in the comments section. I look forward to talking to you down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come join the Sea-Maniac Nation, to follow along with me anytime I'm going to the movies. We got a lot of stuff. I'm seeing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse tomorrow. You want to see those thoughts? There's all sorts of movies. June is packed with movies. You just dig the vibe. You want to show a little love and support. Hey, come join Sea-Maniac Nation. Like I said, that's where I got a crew, man. They come along, they have a good time, we interact, I have fun. You want to join that? All you got to do is jump over there, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the Seamans, Cinema Sit Down. I've been the Seaman. I'm signing off. Peace. Oh, you guys are still here. You snuck up on me. You must be looking for more of this guy. Well, I got 2 video options for you, man. Right up here and right over here. And if you want all those Seaman goodies, well, hey, come join the squad right on over there, and I'll catch you on the next one.